Hello? Guys?
What is it?
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. You ever heard of gallows humor? It's the kind of humor that's super dark. You're like essentially on the gallows. You have a noose around your neck, and you crack a joke while you're there. Hey, first time? And everyone's like, man, that's dark to make a joke when you're about to die. And it seems like The Simpsons, which is a comedy cartoon, has been doing that a lot and might have done that in Maui with the fires that have devastated those poor people. Something called predictive programming, where the people inside of the entertainment industry soften the blow, right, to a tragedy that is either pre-planned or about to happen, so that you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I think I'll be okay with that. I saw it in a funny cartoon somewhere. It's not as shocking, right? Like, because I saw it somewhere. Well, the Simpsons are like the masters of this. Now, did they do this in Maui? That's what we're going to ask today. Here's an article from the New York Post saying conspiracy theorists rip Simpsons for predicting Maui wildfires in 2016. Now, here's what's interesting about this is that they're wrong. And I like the New York Post. But they're actually wrong about this. And we've been able to find out how they're wrong, and it might not be in the way that you think, okay? So get ready here. So here's what they're saying. They're saying that a clip from The Simpsons, that I shall play for you presently, predicted that the entire town would be burned down by a directed energy weapon, essentially a laser, would burn through the Simpsons town just like it did in Maui, and that Maui is its giant conspiracy theory, and this was actually the use of a directed energy weapon. Okay? The Simpsons predictions, no laughing matter. Conspiracy theorists have been torched online after crediting a seemingly clairvoyant cartoon with foretelling the wild, unfounded theory that the Hawaiian wildfires were started by a directed energy weapon here in order to advance the globalist climate change agenda. So here's what they're saying. They're saying that this episode that shows this laser melting through the bars in the jail and melting through the entire town, turning the town essentially into rubble, was exactly what happened in Maui. And here's the side-by-side. Look at that. I mean, that's creepy. It's a little creepy. I mean, it's a little. I mean, it's something for sure. It's something to look at these images back to back. I will give you that. Here's the Simpsons clip, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure. Uh-oh.
First off, I'd like to thank the good people at Chan Smelting and Mining and Donuts and Tops for neutralizing our wonderful, deadly new lard lad.
Yeah, that's great.
They'll grow back. The time for mourning and blaming our mayors has passed. We will rebuild. We will rebuild.
We will rebuild. We will rebuild. We will rebuild.
Okay.
We will rebuild. We will rebuild.
I guess there's only one man we can turn to.
Oh, yeah? Is that Donald Trump? I don't know. The Simpsons have been right about everything. They predicted Trump coming down the stairs for his announcement. Now, I think there's like potentially a dark reason why the Simpsons are so good at these predictions, but nonetheless, people are tweeting this, saying that a directed energy weapon is effectively what they believe started the Maui fires and burned down an entire city and might have caused 1,000 deaths, okay? Simpsons predictive programming is what they're saying. Now, I got to tell you, I've seen the footage. These fires were started by all available evidence, as far as I'm concerned, by a downed electrical power line that exploded in the woods. I mean, I looked at the camera footage. The downed power line caused a massive fire, and that fire then swept through all the brush. And it's diversity, equity, inclusion. The climate agenda kept them from clearing the brush. Okay? But nonetheless, people are entitled to skepticism, and people are entitled to their opinions. What they're not entitled to is their own facts. And so people calling this a conspiracy theory, I'd want to see the evidence that the Maui fires, what evidence do you have that they were started by directed energy weapons? But you can't tell me that directed energy weapons don't exist, because they do. Here's a Lockheed Martin landing page here saying the next generation of defenses, directed energy, harnessing the power of lasers for the 21st century security. This goes on to show a video of a directed energy weapon being used to bring down a plane because the laser is so strong. Plane was unmanned, of course, but here's our own military. This is from years ago. This is from a couple of years ago. So how much advancement have they made on these weapons? I mean, there you go. Airborne laser system, naval laser system. Like, this is from years ago, and they were testing these weapons and were bringing down drones. Watch.
Well, today I'm standing out here with the layered laser defense system behind me at White Sands Missile Range, and we are demonstrating a significant advancement in the capabilities of laser weapon systems against threats that are of interest to all of our war fighters. So in partnership with the Office of Naval Research, ONR, we have demonstrated the capability of negating a surrogate cruise missile in flight with our compact laser weapon system.
Laser's on. I go kill and killer on. Back lift's good. On it. All right, here we go. Firing.
In today's event, it's the first time that a modern fiber laser weapon system with adaptive optics was able to negate a cruise missile. I'm really proud of the team, and we had a multi-VA team that had to work long hours over significant periods of time, and today's results show perfectly how well we performed.
Alternatively, and conversely, one of my more favorite websites, CNET, that has some very interesting tech reporting on it, talked about in depth how to use directed energy weapons for military advantage. Again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to split the baby here, right? And say, okay, you're entitled to believe what you wish to believe about about any natural disaster or anything. You're entitled to your questioning, you're entitled to your skepticism, but you're not entitled to say that like directed energy weapons don't exist, because they do. Watch.
You've seen them in Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, and dozens of science fiction and fantasy stories. But laser weapons are just make-believe, right? Well, maybe not. Energy weapons are real, and they're a lot more powerful than the novelty laser pointers that you're probably familiar with. Though they might not look like you imagine them. Take the US Navy's LAWS laser system, for instance. This experimental 30 kilowatt solid-state laser was installed on the USS Ponce in 2014. It's a real, fully operational directed energy weapon. And while it doesn't shoot out brightly colored blasts of energy like you might have seen in movies or TV shows, this invisible laser weapon still packs quite a punch. In tests, the Navy has used it to detonate explosives from a distance, burn out the engines of approaching boats, and have even used it to shoot down small, unmanned aerial aircraft. It's not even hard to use. When the Navy first showed this laser off, Rear Admiral Matthew Clunder told reporters that anyone who could play Xbox or PS4 games could use the USS Ponce's new energy weapon with ease. And not only is it an effective, undetectable weapon, but because there's no explosives, propellant, or gunpowder, it's safer to operate than traditional weapons. It's more affordable, too. Destroying or disabling a target with a traditional missile can cost thousands of dollars, but Laws can be fired for just 59 cents per shot. And the USS Ponce's energy weapon is just the beginning. Lockheed Martin has been working to help the Navy develop its next directed energy weapon system, the High Energy Laser with Integrated Optical Dazzler and Surveillance, or Helios for short. It's a 60 kilowatt laser, twice as powerful as the Laws weapon. That's not a huge leap forward in laser technology, but it's enough for Lockheed Martin to start envisioning what a true next-generation laser system might look like. From systems that integrate Helios lasers with existing radar and targeting systems to eliminate threats at sea, to developing tactical airborne laser pods that can be mounted on military jets. Although those lasers won't be designed for aerial combat, but rather to help pilots defeat surface-to-air and air-to-air missiles before they reach their targets. And truth be told, that kind of defense capability is what most directed energy weapon systems are focused on today. Not attacking targets with space-age lasers, but using them to defend against drones, UAVs, and potential attacks. And that's an idea that's been a long time coming. Back in the 1980s, the Reagan administration's Strategic Defense Initiative hoped to build a fleet of laser-equipped satellites that could shoot down Cold War missile threats. The program's ambition outstretched its technology at the time, and it was eventually shut down in 1993. But now, decades later, we're finally catching up to the idea, just on a little smaller of a scale. So yes, laser weapons are real, though they aren't much like the blasters your favorite heroes carry around in the Star Wars films. And that's okay. Some things are more fun when they stay a fantasy.
You're also, of course, entitled to ask questions about why the Simpsons know all of these things, right? Here's a relatively unbelievable list of Simpsons predictions that were right. The censorship of Michelangelo's David. Barack Obama prediction. This one's interesting. Big prediction came actually true. The Simpsons followed an episode where Homer went to vote for Barack Obama in the general election. The machine malfunctioned, changing his vote. 4 years after the episode premiere, the voting machines in Pennsylvania had to be removed from its location as it kept changing votes meant for Barack Obama to Mitt Romney. Interesting. Beatles letter, sideburns, Super Bowl predictions, tiger attack. Uh-oh. Yikes, that's dark. Assorted horse parts, eat up Martha, smartwatches, the shard, the grease theft, picture phone, Higgins-Bolson equation, Ebola outbreak, Disney's purchase of 21st Century Fox, tobacco plant, Donald Trump as president. There you go. Come on, man. Look at that. That's crazy. This is crazy. So, why? I don't know, dude. Matt Goring is the dude who made The Simpsons. And he apparently had really close ties with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a goofy-looking guy. So apparently one of the Epstein victims said that she was forced to give him a foot massage, and his crusty feet made her want to throw up. He was like, this guy was an Epstein. Like, you can go through and look. Like, this guy was on the flight list. This guy was an Epstein Island associate. What does that mean? Well, we all know that Epstein was a CIA and FBI operative, and that if you were going to predictively program people, well, you'd probably go to the super popular, very well-watched cartoon and, feed him lines. Get him to start, massaging the brains of the masses. Just a thought. Just connecting the dots. I have a right to connect the dots. Did The Simpsons do it again? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Although, directed energy weapons, they're real. Okay? So at the very least, they predicted those, and those are real. Nonetheless, the Maui wildfires are a total tragedy, and we feel for those people. I personally believe it was the climate cultists that caused that horrific disaster. And I know for a fact that they didn't sound the alarm, and I know for a fact that they withheld the sacred water from saving children, and that's why Joe Biden's greeted like this in Maui.
Wow, he's finally here. Wow, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. Fuck you. Fuck you. 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 Fuck you. 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 Hey, right here. You, Joe Biden. You.
Those guys should have watched The Simpsons. Maybe they would have known what was about to happen. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe to End Communism, the communism that Joe Biden represents. See ya.